So 2 winners on the World Series circuit this year so far. Anderson back in July, a week later. Smith in Shanghai. Anderson in the US, who's going to be a chance of winning it down here in Melbourne for the second year after Phil Taylor won last year. Anderson has won in Perth, mentioned before. He's the only one to win in Australia. Actually, Michael Van Gerwen's won in Perth as well. No doubt he'll remind us all of that a bit later on. But let's get to this first semi-final. It's a very good evening to Mark Bosnich and Stuart Pike.
Hello, Adam. Thank you very much. Yes, great mates as well, Gary Anderson and Michael Smith. There's been a lot of banter going on all day here in Melbourne. Michael Smith coming to the venue early. Gary Anderson winding him up because he was coming to the venue too early. And Anderson arriving at the venue just an hour before. A lot of banter. They travelled together. And in the early days, Gary Anderson sponsored Michael Smith and helped him set him up so he could play on the tour.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
The last time they met, Smith won in the Premier League semi-finals.
Wow.
But here we go, Anderson against Smith for a place in the Melbourne final.
83.
Good evening, everybody from around the world, and good evening to you, Stuart. How are you?
Yes, all good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Got 2 cracking semi-finals coming up. Michael Smith and what was arguably the greatest game that we've seen in Australia since you've been coming down here for the last 5 years. Prevailing over Rob Cross.
Yeah. 9-6 down, Michael Smith. And won 10-9. Finishes of 120, 107, 99 and 122.
Unbelievable.
It really was.
And of course, Gary Anderson over Damon Heta, I thought done very well.
Yeah, Anderson beating the Aussie qualifier Damon Heta, 10-7. It was a bit like wading through mud. There is Heta, a bit like wading through mud for Anderson. He lost focus a little bit throughout, but he got the job done. Well, is it another big finish? But this time to start the match. Could well be.
There he goes.
Well, Darter.
Must be feeling invincible after that comeback last night. 9-6 down, I think he was.
Yeah, that's right. 4 consecutive legs. Anderson there on a finish. And Smith taking out 106 for the 12 darter. But yeah, they'll be down to business to say they won't like losing to each other. Smith winning that Premier League semi-final at the O2 Arena in London back in May, very much against the odds.
One thing's for certain, there will be a new name on the trophy. Phil Taylor obviously winning it last year. I think Phil's pretty much won everywhere on the East Coast, with the exception of Perth. I think Michael Van Gerwen won in Perth.
96.
Yeah, Gary Anderson winning in Perth in 2017, beating Raymond van Barneveld in the final.
Gary Anderson, there you go.
85.
I just wonder whether that's Gary Anderson there was looking fairly good to hold his throw. It was a cracking opening leg, but that was brilliant from Michael Smith. In effect, you know, that's 5 big finishes on the trot when you consider what he did in the match against Cross.
135.
Anderson on a 2-dart finish in the last leg and didn't get a dart and a double. He's left tops in this leg and hasn't got a dart and a double.
Smith is off to a flyer, continuing that form that we saw from him last night.
74.
Smith averaging 107. Early days, I know.
And listen, Stuart, I had a phone call from somebody this afternoon to say that they saw you at the rugby league game, Melbourne Storm versus Cronulla Sharks. Is that correct? Oh, look at that. He's absolutely flying.
Can't put a foot wrong. He literally is carrying on where he left off after that comeback win over Rob Cross. This is sensational from Smith. Yeah, just over the road at Amy Park. Melbourne against Cronulla, cracking game. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyable. And then we've got...
and the Sharks won again. They've got a great record there.
Yeah.
60.
And then next week we've got Brisbane against South Sydney at the Suncorp Stadium. So
What a trip this is for you, eh? Everything you want.
100.
And a little bit more. Gary Anderson here just needs to get a foothold in this game.
54.
He left 52 in the opening leg, didn't get a dart. Oh, he's recovered.
58.
This for 3-0 and a double break of throw.
What a start.
Big dart.
There it is.
Down.
Michael Smith.
Well,
Full flag, Michael to throw
they can make
first.
fun of him all they want for coming in early, but he's 3-0 up within 10 minutes.
Well, they're travel partners as well. They really are good friends, Boz. And Michael Smith here is just absolutely firing on all cylinders. I actually flew over with them from Manchester via Dubai and Brisbane to Auckland. And it was a laugh a minute. Mainly at Michael Smith's expense, I have to say. But at the moment, he could be having the last laugh against Gary Anderson.
Looking that way, I can remember him coming to Sydney for the first time. Very, very young and doing, I did an interview with him, his first interview that he did. Very, very nervous, completely different now, completely understandable.
Yeah.
That last night must have given him so much confidence. Look at that. That is absolutely superb.
112 average for Michael Smith for 4-0.
36.
Well, he'll return. The US Masters champion against the Shanghai Masters champion. But again, for yet another leg, it looks like being too little too late for Anderson. Oh, now then. Now then, is that the big mistake? He's had 4 darts for 4-0. But...
Double 10 for 4-0. There we go.
Gary Anderson only has himself to blame. Missed 1 dart at double 16 to get on the board in the 3rd leg. He just missed 3 darts at tops. But Michael Smith missed 4 darts for 4-0. And we wondered, didn't we, whether it might all change. But Anderson blowing his chances as well. We know Anderson is very capable of a comeback.
58.
I'll have to start now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can't see him coming back if he goes 5-0 down.
131.
Michael Smith is in the zone.
131.
I mean, the pace is perfect for both of them. We talked about the way that Anderson struggled against the slow player Damon Heta. Michael Smith is relentless.
92.
Absolutely relentless. Well, he went for the treble to leave double 10.
60. Gary require 86.
Gotta go. Got to go, Gary. Double 7.
72. Michael require 40.
Oh.
20.
Oh.
Gary require 14.
Anderson must get this.
There
you go.
Well, Michael Smith.
So important, I think, that he got that one, Stuart.
Well,
I really
absolutely.
can't believe that he would have come back from 5-0 down.
And a wry smile from both there, Boz, because Michael Smith knows he should have been 5-0 up. Gary Anderson knows he's lucky to get a leg on the board, but he is on the board. Now, what can he do leading up to the break?
100. $83. 60.
Not enough. Michael Smith, you know, was stung by that defeat in Auckland when he lost to Mark McGrath in the in the opening round.
93.
Said that it was, yeah.
Well, it hurt. I mean, there was a lot of talk about the banter that goes on between darts players, and there is. You can imagine, can't you?
Yeah,
I'm sure it was the same
he would have copped it big stuff.
in all the dressing rooms that you played in. He did. He copped it big time from all his so-called darting mates.
Oh, another one.
78. Michael require 50.
Ruthless and relentless, Michael Smith.
Game shot on the 6 leg. Michael Smith.
One more leg to the break. 5-1 to Smith. Looking awesome at the moment.
100.
He's the sort of darts he produced on his way to winning the tournament in Shanghai. He took Michael van Gerwen apart and then did the same to Rob Cross in the final. At the moment, slim pickings for the Scot.
125.
Believe you me.
140.
The loser of this will be...
Up until Brisbane. They might meet each other again. Here we go again.
Will be few.
There's number 5. 5 180s in 6 legs for Michael Smith.
92. Michael require 111.
Chance to go onto the break. 6-1 up.
Yep, he's got a chance. He's got tops.
91. Gary require 46.
Oh, that's important. So important.
And it is. Gary Anderson stays in the hunt. He's got some work to do for sure. Michael Smith missed one dart for 6-1. But Gary Anderson still in the business, still in the mix. But